what I like to do with this show is have you guys send me a video clip, under 1 minute, and ask me your English question. And then I'll build a show around it. If you're a little shy, don't worry. I'm going to cover your face with a cartoon character, an animated character, which is the case tonight. Tonight we were sent a video clip and the student asked me not to show her face. No problem. We still have her voice. We still have a good question. And we'll get to that right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Now it's time to talk about tonight's English mystery. So, let's look at tonight's English mystery and begin our investigation.
Hi, Teacher Paul. I get confused about how to use like or as when I want to express something similar. So my question is, what is the difference between like and as, and how should I use them?
Not yet. Okay, that's an excellent question. What's the difference between like and as? They do feel similar, right? And that's going to be an important thing to think about here. Let me remind you of something I bring up often on this show. When we talk about a language and we talk about English, we are talking about three different elements we have to consider. Form, meaning, and use. When we talk about form, we're talking about grammar, structure. We talk about meaning, we're talking about the idea that gets communicated. When we talk about use, we're talking about how we use it in sentences, how we use it in our life. And this can help us understand the differences between two things. For example, like and as feel like they communicate the same idea. So maybe the meaning is close, right? But then the grammar might be different. So that happens a lot with these issues that seem similar, but they're used differently and you get confused. Often it's because you're looking at something only in terms of grammar or only in terms of meaning. But we have to consider all of these elements together because they work together, they interact together. So one thing I like to do when we start off is start with a couple of examples. So I have a couple of examples here and I want your help with something. Now we have where am I here? Backwards. We have 4 sentences. The dog looks like Happy. Number 2, he looks like his father. Number 3, the movie was great, as you saw. Number 4, the boy, as his father, follows the Lakers. What I want you guys to do is tell me in the comment thread which ones are correct, which ones are incorrect. Okay, do that now. Just put the number like correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you choose. Incorrect, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what you come up with. And then we'll investigate these sentences and see what's happening in them. I think you can see the first 2 use the word like, and these 2 use the word as. And we're going to investigate the difference. Okay, let's see what you come up with. Actually, I don't like the word correct and incorrect. I'm going to say accurate and inaccurate. Because correct implies that there's one standard way of doing things, and I don't agree with that. When we start considering use, we can see that there are a variety of exceptions. So we don't want to hold on to things like they're standards and rules. They are understandings and patterns, more like it. So let's see what you come up with in the chat box, guys. Which one of these sentences is accurate and which ones are not accurate? Tell me the numbers. What do you think? The dog looks like Happy. Is that good? Number 2, he looks like his father. Is that an accurate sentence? Is that grammar good? Number 3, the movie was great, as you saw. Number 4, the boy, as his father, follows the Lakers. What do you think? Let's see the chat box. Let's see what you come up with. Oh, where's my remote? Anyone have an idea? Oh, we have Bonnie Esther. Hi, Bonnie Esther, joining us from the US. Welcome to the show. Bonnie Esther, I don't know if you saw, but we have a question of the day, which is, what's the difference between like and as? So I've got a couple of example sentences here, and I'm asking everyone to choose which ones are accurate and which ones are inaccurate. So far we have Berta. I'm going to make a little vote here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have, okay, what's the first one? Berta says, oh, we don't see the numbers, do we? Berta says accurate 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Wako says accurate 2. Inaccurate 1. Okay. Somebody else? Kisa says 1 and 3 are accurate. Okay, good. We have a variety of choices here. I see hello to Facebook user. I think you're probably watching from a Facebook group, which is lovely. But when you're in a Facebook group, I can't see your name. So it's always better to go to my Facebook page, which is Hard Boiled English, or my YouTube channel, which is also Hard Boiled English, or the Grammar Detective. That way you get a nice picture and you can interact with us. What do we have now? Berta? Berta says inaccurate number 1 and 4. Okay, good. We have a variety of choices here. And this is not a test, guys. I don't want you to feel the pressure of a quiz or test. And there's no judgment here. We're trying to investigate. We're trying to understand this better. But what we can see already is that there's a little bit of debate over number 1. Number 4, people clearly don't like. Number 2 and 3 seem to be approved of. We have Kira Sage with us. Have a great show. Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to having you on the show soon. Take care. We'll see you soon. Okay, who else is with us? Okay. Okay, guys, let me tell you. I need another color. Paul's color. Okay. Number 1. The dog looks like happy. That one's inaccurate. Okay? I'll explain why in a moment. The dog looks like happy. It's not going to work. So that's an X. Number 2, he looks like his father. In fact, that is fine. That's an accurate sentence using correct or accurate grammar. Number 3, the movie was great, as you saw. It's a little strange, but it's accurate. Okay? So number 3, good. Number 4, the boy, as his father, follows the Lakers. Basketball fan. This one is inaccurate. Okay? Now I'll explain why in a moment. Okay, that's the list. You might want to make a note if you're into taking notes. Okay, so these are our examples that we're going to play with and examine. So now that I've told you this is no good, these two are fine, and this is also inaccurate, we need to know why. So if I could ask my engineer to remove the logo, and now we have a smaller version of the same sentences, just so I can have more board space. Oh, scroll up. Up. Here, I'll do it. Gosh, where'd they go? Here. Yeah. Okay, so again, guys, we're talking about 3 elements of a language. Form, the grammar, meaning, the idea that we're communicating, and use, the way we use it. Let's remember that. Now, to understand this, to understand why those sentences are accurate or inaccurate, let's go to the basics and let's go to the dictionary. And the dictionary I prefer is the Oxford because English originated in the UK, in Britain. It's kind of their language. Oxford is the source. So I defer to the Oxford Dictionary, even though I live in Canada. I could use a Canadian dictionary or an American dictionary. They're all fine. I just choose Oxford as my standard go-to dictionary. And I also compare the other dictionary meanings. But dictionaries are very helpful. So let's look at this. Like. What the hell is like? Okay, like, and a dictionary can tell you this. It's a preposition, right? So preposition tells us the form, what kind of grammar it is, what kind of part of speech it is. It's a preposition. That's important. Why? Because we know prepositions have one job in English. They have one job. Prepositions connect nouns. That's what they do. Can we clear that for a moment? Just a moment. Okay? Prepositions connect nouns. This prefix, pre, means before. Like preview the movie, watch it before. This means before position. Prepositions come before nouns. That's their job. So when we talk about the triangle, form, meaning, and use, that's the form. That's the grammar function. Okay, let's go back to the dictionary picture. So what's the meaning? Well, the meaning is having the same characteristics or quality as something or similar to. And you can see that it starts with having, because the dictionary definition, the meaning, also has to follow the form of the word. So something is having the same characteristics. So this idea of connecting similarity is going to be very important. Oh, we have Chris from Brazil. Greetings, Chris. Nice to have you with us. The question today, Chris, if you're joining a little late, is what's the difference between like and as? Okay? So like is a preposition, and this is what it means. Something having the same characteristics or qualities as something else. Something is similar. Now let's take a look at as. Let's compare. Right away we can see a difference. As is not a preposition. As is a conjunction. What do conjunctions do? Conjunctions connect clauses or sentences. Right? Clauses or sentences. And clauses, as we know from previous shows you've all watched, a clause is a subject and a verb. Minimum. Like, that's all you need to make a clause. So you can make a clause with I run or I jog, period. That's my hobby. I jog. Subject, verb. Of course, it can be larger, but the minimum is a subject and a verb. Sentences. Okay. So that's what a conjunction does. Let's get the graphic up again. As is a conjunction. So right away, we have two different forms. Right? We're talking about form, meaning, and use. When we talk about language, we've compared like and as in the dictionary definitions, and we can see that one's a preposition, like, and prepositions connect nouns. So like's job is to connect nouns, right? And we know that as is a conjunction, and a conjunction's job is to connect sentences, clauses, subjects and verbs. So we have two different forms happening here. But look at the meaning of as. Used to indicate by comparison the way that something happens or is done. Okay, so comparison. That's kind of like the preposition meaning, which was similar to. Okay, they're getting related. But this is similar to this, right? It's a pen and this is a pen, but they're different colors, but they're similar. That's a little different than comparing them, right? Comparing is a different idea. So maybe we have two different meanings here. And this is going to affect the use, and that's what we'll look at next. Now there is one exception where we get some overlap. There's another way to use as, and this is where it gets confusing. Let's go to that one. As can also be a preposition. There's one particular case where as is a preposition, which means used to refer to the function or character that someone or something has. So for example, when we use as a preposition, the one way we can use it is when we say something like, Paul works as a teacher. Paul works as a teacher. That's my function. Doesn't mean I'm similar to a teacher. I am a teacher. It means that is my function or my role. You might see in a movie advertisement, a movie star stars as a character because the character is their function. Tom Cruise stars as Ethan Hunt, the character in Mission Impossible. He stars as. Paul works as a teacher. And you'll notice Paul works as a teacher. As is coming before the noun teacher. Then it's functioning as a preposition. Tom Cruise stars as Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt is a noun. As is working as a preposition. That's the only time as works as a preposition. Now, let's go to our examples. Can we get the little yellow box up again? Let's examine our examples. Let's examine our examples. Number one, let's test this. The dog looks like happy. Now, I can understand the meaning of this sentence, so it's not terrible, but it's not entirely accurate. So what did we say about like? We said it's a preposition, a prep. And prepositions do what? They connect nouns. They come before nouns. They come pre-noun. So that means this should be a noun, right? What do you think? Is happy a noun? Oh, I just see Fuad joining us. Fuad, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. What country are you in right now, Fuad? We have a whole bunch of countries joining us. Okay, so preposition like, supposed to connect a noun. Is happy a noun? What do you think? Do you believe happy is a noun? Can I hold happy in my hand? I have a happy? Probably not. I have a pen. I can hold that in my hand. Happy is an adjective. That's a problem. We have a subject, we have a verb, and then we have a preposition, and the preposition tells me that I should expect a noun next. But instead, I have an adjective. That's a problem. Okay? Oh, Fuad's with us. He's in Morocco, in the north of Africa. Wonderful to have you with us. I'm sure it's a different time where you are. So if it's early in the morning or late at night, thank you for watching. It's in the north of Africa, yeah. Long time no see, Paul. But I don't know who you are. It says Facebook user because you're in a Facebook group. So inside a Facebook group, I cannot see your name when you interact. But if you can tell me your name, I'd love to know who you are. Anyway, guys, we have this problem here. The dog looks like happy. So we can't really have a preposition here. What we need is to erase it. And that's how that sentence should look. Okay? So this is a case where we can't use like. The dog looks happy. Paul is happy. The adjective should come right after one of these type of verbs. Now this type of verb is called a copula verb. It connects the subject. The most common copular verb is be. The dog is happy. Paul is a teacher. After that, you can put an adjective. Okay? Happy is an adjective, Fuad. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, so that's what made that sentence wrong. Number one. Number two, he looks like, remember here we had looks, same verb, subject, verb, we have a clause. He looks like, which was a preposition, right? And here we had an adjective after the preposition, and that made it wrong. What do we have now? Now we have a noun, his father. That is fine, because the preposition like connects his father. Okay? So when you use like, after like, we expect a noun or a pronoun And again, the noun can have a determiner or a possessive, the, a, his, her, my. That doesn't matter because that together makes a noun. So when you use like, you have to have a noun after it. Okay? So think about how we use that. In this sentence, it's telling us that the boy, right? The boy is similar to his father. So it's expressing similarity. He looks like his father. He's like his father. They are similar. This pen is like this pen. They're very similar. This pen is like this pen. This rabbit is like this rabbit. They're similar. Well, I mean, they're different colors, but they're both rabbits, right? They are similar. This rabbit is like this rabbit. They're nouns. Okay? Or this baseball is not like this rabbit. It's not like. Same structure. Not like, noun. Okay, so like plus noun. That's what you want to use. Like plus noun. That is the structure or form for using like. Why? Because like is a preposition. Okay? Let's look at the next sentence, number 3. The movie was great. Comma, as you saw. Okay, what do we have here? Let's look at the parts. We have a subject. We have a verb. It's a be verb, so it's a copular, just like the looks. Then we have an adjective. And the adjective, of course, is telling us about the movie. Then we have a comma. Then we have as. Remember what kind of word as is. It's a conjunction. And conjunctions do what? They connect clauses. And a clause is a subject and a verb. Do we have one? We do. We have subject you, verb saw. So this and this, they're both clauses. Subject verb, and it's different, right? The movie, you, the verb is different, was, saw. So these are completely different clauses. They're independent clauses. They express different ideas. They have different subjects. And they're connected by the conjunction. Conjunctions connect sentences. So that's what makes this sentence correct. The movie was great, as you saw. Right? If we use like here, it creates a problem. Because after like, we have a subject and a verb. We have a clause. Like should only be connecting a noun or two. It should not be connecting a clause. And that's why we shouldn't use like here. So this one's correct, and this is why. Let's look at the 4th sentence, please. The boy, as his father, follows the Lakers. Okay. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Lakers are the Los Angeles basketball team, professional basketball team. So then what do we have here, guys? We have subject. And then we have a comma, comma structure. So this is like an interruption of the main sentence. It's like an insert. So we have to jump over it to find the verb. The boy follows the Lakers. There's our object. So the main sentence is, the boy follows the Lakers. But then we're going to add something in the middle. And we have as, which we know is a conjunction. And then we have a noun. So you can see what's happening here. Here we have as, which conjoins or connects clauses, but it's followed by a noun only. And that's a problem, right? So what word do we use to connect a noun? Before the noun, pre the noun, we need like. This is where like should be. The boy, like his father, follows the Lakers, right? So what we're seeing here is that the form is very different and the way we use these two words is very different. Even if the meaning is similar because they both communicate similarity or comparison. But the way we use it and the form that takes are different. One of them is a preposition. We need a noun after that. One of them is a conjunction, which should be followed by a clause. Okay? Now, I'm going to erase this and then look at a couple of other examples, and we'll put those to the test. So give me a moment, guys, while I clear the board with my trusty Expo whiteboard care. There should be a link below where you can purchase your own Expo whiteboard care. It's an excellent product, cleans your board nicely and dries almost instantly. Okay. Okay. Remember I said that there's a time when you can use as a preposition if it points to the function. Like Paul works as a teacher. And this is sort of a weird exception, right? Because we have a noun here, and then we have this conjunction, which should be followed by a clause, not a single noun. We should have like here. Paul works like a teacher. You could say Paul works like a teacher. That would be fine. But what does that mean? That means that I work in a similar way to a teacher. It doesn't communicate that I am a teacher, that it's my function, it's my job, it's my role. If we look closely at this, we can see where this comes from. Paul works as a teacher. He functions as a teacher. If we try to imagine a verb after this, what would it be? Well, it might be something like Paul works as a teacher does. Right? And then we'd have a subject verb. That's kind of the meaning of this sentence. Paul works as a teacher does. So I work in the same way as a teacher. Over time, I suppose, this verb was dropped and the meaning was communicated or implied. So when we talk about the function or role of somebody, usually their job, we can use as. And that gives us the ability to use like differently. Paul works like a teacher. He isn't a teacher, he works like a teacher. Right? He wakes up early and prepares and then works late at night because he's marking quizzes. That's how a teacher works. So maybe your friend is not a teacher, but they work like a teacher. So both of them can be used with different meanings. We can also use as double as, and it still follows the same rule. I think you've seen something like this. I'm actually not as tall as a tree, but I'm pretty tall. So what do we have here? We have subject, verb, then we have our conjunction as, then we have an adjective, right? But didn't we say if it's a conjunction, it should be followed by a clause? Is it? Well, we have a double conjunction. Paul is as tall as a tree. Well, tree is a noun. So shouldn't that be like? Well, what's the meaning here? What we're really communicating is that Paul is as tall as a tree is. Right? And that's a verb. But it's implied. Okay? And if that's the case, then we do have a subject and a verb. We do have a clause. So we use this structure, this form, to communicate a comparison. Paul is as tall, that's an adjective, right? So this isn't really the clause connection. This is. Paul is as tall as a tree is. And we can drop that. Why? Because it's the same verb here, right? We're allowed to drop it to avoid some repetition. And so that's where you would use double as, but it still fits the definition, right? It still connects a clause, but part of the clause is implied. Okay? You might see usually in literature or poetry, you might see something like this. He looks as if or as though he saw a ghost. Okay? He looks as if or as though, two different options, as and as he saw a ghost. And it's a way of making a simile, a comparison between two things that are not similar. So his appearance, he's really surprised. Why? He looks as though he saw a ghost. But that fits the rule too, because over here we have a clause. So it's still working as a conjunction, right? So as if, as though, or double as, it still follows the conjunction structure, okay? I'm going to erase this and show you just a couple more examples. Let's start up here. Do you guys have any questions about these examples or structures? Let's see if you are grasping it. And if not, that's okay. We can clarify. That's what this show is all about. Investigating and clarifying. Okay, let me show you another example. Now I'm going to show you some examples where like fits the rule. Maybe some more variety of structures that we can use. You're shy. And because of that description, right? Subject, verb, adjective. What I'm going to say is that someone else is similar to me and my being shy. So you can say you're shy like me. You're shy like me. And this is a preposition followed by the noun. So that fits. So we can often say structures like this. This is a simple one, right? You're shy like me, or like me, comma, you're shy. Or you might say something like, and by the way, the negative version of like works the same way. So let's try that actually. What if you said unlike? Unlike Canada, Morocco, did I spell that right? No, one R. Morocco has no winter. Is that correct, Fuad? No winter, no snow. I'm pretty sure my geography is correct. Let's say no snow. I'm sure you have a winter, but it's probably hot because Libya and Morocco, those countries in North Africa, are close to the equator. So unlike Canada, Morocco has no snow. So our main idea is that Morocco has no snow, right? I hope that's accurate, Fawad. And what do we have here? We have our preposition, unlike, and we have our noun, right? What we can't do is this. We cannot say, and by the way, this is a common error, and that's why I think this student brought this question to us. This is what I hear often. As Canada, Morocco has no snow, right? Or let's say, as Canada, now let's take a snow country, like Japan, right? As Canada, Japan has snow. They're trying to communicate that Japan, with its snow, is similar to Canada. The problem is we have a noun here, we have as, but as is not a preposition. It can't come before a single noun like this. As is a conjunction that joins sentences. That's why this doesn't work, right? We need like. Like Canada, Japan has snow. And it doesn't matter where this is. It could be over here. Japan has snow like Canada. Or you could say something like, I enjoy many dishes, food dishes, And then you can introduce an example, like pizza. That's a good way of introducing an example. An example of many dishes. I enjoy many dishes, like pizza. Well, that's following our structure, isn't it? Prep, followed by the noun. That works. I enjoy many dishes, like pizza. Now you can use as here if you said such as to introduce an example. Okay. Let's see Wako's question here, and I'll just clear this. Wako is asking, you are shy like I am. Good. This is where we're going to get the nuance. So she says, I've heard people use like this way. You are shy like I am. It's a simple sentence, but it packs a lot of idea here. So we said, you are shy like me. We said me was fine. And the reason is this is a preposition and this is our noun. Prepositions connect nouns. They come pre-noun. But Wako says, I've heard this. Right? Maybe by a native speaker or maybe on TV. Oh, sorry, like I am. Now, what do we have here? We have our preposition like. Like is a preposition. End of story. Like, and then we have a subject and a verb. So we have a clause. And the rule is, if we're connecting a clause, we need a conjunction. Conjoin the clause, to conjoin the clause. So actually, this is no good. This is not accurate English. It's not. Even though Wako has heard this on TV or when Wako travels to an English-speaking country, she's heard native speakers say this. And, you know, this is a problem, guys. I work with a lot of students in Canada from other countries. And they hear things that Canadians say, Canadians who have grown up in this English-speaking country, and because they're learners, they assume the native-speaking Canadian is speaking perfect English and that they should follow them. And I would say a lot of Canadians will say this. Maybe when I'm speaking fast, I'll say this too. I make errors when I speak quickly. I just made one. When I speak fast. Fast is an adjective. If I'm going to describe how I speak, I should use quickly. So native speakers make errors. That's a fact. And depending on their education level or their natural skill with language, I mean, even highly educated people, what if they're highly educated with math? Maybe language isn't their number one skill, but math is. I'm terrible at math, but as a younger person, I showed a knack for language. So this is not accurate English, but people say it anyway. The fact is, a lot of native English speakers use inaccurate grammatical structures. However, the main thing is the meaning. Do we understand this? You are shy like I am. I understand that perfectly. So to be honest with you, I would accept a sentence like that. If someone said it to me, I wouldn't think twice. I wouldn't even hesitate to answer it or comment on it. I would never want to correct them unless they were a learner trying to learn the accurate English. And this is how language grows, right? Traditional grammarians or teachers would say, that's incorrect, it's evil. However, if everyone says it and everyone understands each other, it will become accepted. The use, this is where the triangle comes back, right? Form, bad grammar, meaning. Yeah, the meaning's clear. And use. So if this is bad, but the meaning is okay, maybe over time, it's going to be adopted into public use. And the more people use it, the more the dictionary makers have to accept it, right? The people that standardize language. It'll go into textbooks. And that's how language grows and evolves. And that's why I don't like the words correct or incorrect. Technically, this is incorrect English. It's bad grammar. It's inaccurate. However, the meaning is communicated clearly. So it's going to be used, right? A lot of native speakers won't know the difference between like and as. So they'll use this, and you know what? It's fine. Now, if you're learning English, and of course if you have to pass tests, you should understand the differences. That's a great question, a great addition. Guys, I hope this has helped you understand the difference between like and as. If you ever have any other questions, Wako says, oops, I've been saying like I am a lot. I'll keep it in mind. Thanks, Detective. Of course, you're welcome. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we're not all out there writing tests and exams, so it's not a question of it being correct or incorrect or good or bad or right or wrong, really. It's about, can you communicate? That's the goal with a language, really. Of course, you want jobs, so you need to get certifieds and you have to pass tests. That's part of it. But, like here's an example where it's technically wrong, but it's commonly said. So it's probably going to change the language. It's going to push it forward and evolve it until this is accepted. Maybe I say this when I'm speaking quickly and I don't really take the time to think about what I'm saying. But to summarize this, I would say, like is a preposition, so use it when you're connecting a noun, right? You might hear a lot of music lyrics that use poetic techniques like simile. Simile is a way of making similar two very unsimilar things. You might hear a rap lyric. Rap is full of similes. You might hear something like, I'm like a tiger, right? I am like a tiger. I am, there's our preposition, and there's our noun. And what is it telling us? What's the idea? The idea is that I is equal to a tiger. I am similar to a tiger, and therefore I have tiger characteristics, right? Or you might hear famous poetry like, love is like a rose. This poetic technique is called simile, and it makes two things that are different similar. Love is an abstract idea, right? It's not an object, so it's hard to understand. But a rose, that's a real thing in life that we can see and touch and feel, and we can understand its characteristics. So when you say, love is like a rose, you're telling me that these are equal. They're the same thing. And so we can talk about love with all the characteristics of a rose. It's beautiful, but it's thorny. It's a little bit dangerous, right? It's got spikes. So you see like used in poetry and literature and music lyrics a lot. It's a poetic technique that's very common and very useful and very powerful, very evocative. But it follows our definition, right? Preposition plus noun. As doesn't do that. As connects a conjunction like this. Love is, love is scary. Is as scary as a, plane ride. I'm just thinking of this right now. It's kind of stupid, but plane rides are scary for some people. So love is as scary as a plane ride. And the implied verb here is, right? But we're using is twice, so we can cut the last one. So it creates a similarity. It creates a comparison, right? Using an adjective, scary. Like doesn't really do that. Like connects a noun and shows similarity that way. Oh, Wako has a comment that she's absolutely right. Do you need a before tiger? Whoopsie. Right? Native speakers make mistakes. When I'm writing close up to the board, sometimes I forget a word or an article. I know a should be in front of a tiger. I just didn't put it there. Thank you, Wako. So guys, I hope that helps you understand the difference between like and as. And I want to thank, thank you, Bonnie Esther. I'm glad it's helpful. I want to thank Tomoko for sending in the video clip and the question. Fawad, thank you. I hope you don't have snow in Morocco. And I think that's all our time today, guys. So again, if you have grammar questions, if you have English mysteries, please get in touch with me on social media and send me a short video clip, less than 1 minute, and I'll build the show around it. Let's go to the tickers down below here. Yeah, let's just pass through these. One of those on. So you guys can contact me on social media at Hardboiled English, at The Grammar Detective, or hashtag The Grammar Detective. Let's connect. Let me know your English mystery and I'll build the show around it. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. Let's go to that ticker. Next one up. Yeah. Check out my YouTube channel, The Grammar. Oh yes, by the way, if you're feeling generous, support the show at buymeacoffee/hardboiled. We'll be back next Friday night, guys. So I think that's all the time we have. I thank you for joining me. Someone's in the chat. Fawad says, thank you for these notes. My pleasure, Fawad. Thank you very much. If anyone's interested in developing their writing techniques, you can enroll in my online writing workshop, www.writingworkshop.thinkific.com. Okay, guys, it's been wonderful to see you again. I'm going to get ready to get back out and hit the streets and look for some English mysteries. Okay, until the next time I see you guys, stay healthy and take care. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching tonight's show. If you have an English grammar question, an English mystery, contact me on social media and send me a video of you asking the question. I'll investigate it on a future show. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button to get all the updates about videos and events. If you're feeling generous, you can also donate to the production costs of the show at Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Finally, until the next time I see you on Hardboiled English Live, I want you to keep learning English. Stay healthy and stay cool.